about a piece of iron rod in the blazing furnace. It becomes red as fire. Remove it. It loses its red color. If you want to keep it always red, you must always keep it in the fire. So also, if you want to keep mind charged with the fire of Brahmic wisdom, you must keep it always in contact with the Brahmic fire of knowledge through constant and intense meditation. You must keep up an unceasing flow of the Brahmic consciousness. If you can meditate for half an hour, you will be able to engage yourself with peace and spiritual strength and peace from meditation. Then you will have no trouble or worry. Swami Sivananda, there are many different paths of meditation. The goal is the same. Meditation is the art of ecstasy. It leads us not only to totally new inner experiences, but helps us also to transform our day-to-day life into a better, more meaningful and more fulfilling existence. The purpose of meditation or dhyana is to become consciously aware of or investigate into one's own mind and body to know oneself. It is essentially an exclusive as well as an inclusive process, in which one withdraws one's mind and senses from the distractions of the world and contemplates upon a chosen object or idea with concentration. It is focused thinking with or without the exercise of individual will, in which the mind and the body has to be brought together to function as one harmonious whole. With the help of meditation, we can overcome our mental blocks, negative thinking, debilitating fears, stress and anxiety by knowing their cause and dealing with them. In dhyana, we gain insightful awareness whereby we can control over our responses and reactions. Through its regular practice, we come to understand the nature of things, the impermanence of our corporeal existence, the fluctuations of our minds, the source of our own suffering and its possible resolution. The difference between meditation and contemplation is mostly academic. According to some, meditation is an insightful observation and contemplation a concentrated reflection, with detachment being the common factor between the two. In this essay, both the words are used interchangeably to convey the same meaning as dhyana. Dhyana is a Sanskrit word. Dhi means receptacle or the mind, and yana means moving or going. Dhyana means journey or movement of the mind. It is a mental activity of the mind, thi. In Hindu philosophy, the mind, manas, is viewed as a receptacle, chi, into which thoughts pour back and forth from the universal pool of thought forms. According to Hindu tradition, the human mind has the creative potency of God. You become what you think. You are a sum total of your thoughts and desires, not only of this life but also of your past lives. What you think and desire grows upon you, becomes part of your latent impressions, samskaras, and influence the course of your life here and hereafter. These samskaras determine the future course of your lives as they accompany you to the next world. All your mental actions are part of your karma as much as any physical action. Even the animals have the ability to evolve into higher being through their mental focus. Meditation is observing the inward and outward movement of thoughts that are coming and going out of the mind with silence, maunam, stability, dhiram, and detachment, vairagyam. According to Hindu theories of creation, all the beings and worlds emanated from God, mentioned as Brahma in some scriptures and Brahman in others, through meditation only. Its mysteries and its dimensions can be comprehended in transcendental states of self-absorption, which is possible through meditation only. Since each individual is a carbon copy of the universe, by understanding ourselves we can understand the manifest universe. Thus our ancient rishis practiced meditation and contemplation to discover the truths concerning themselves and the world around them. In their deep meditative states they envisioned the Vedic wisdom and universal self. Since the knowledge poured forth into their receptive and stabilized minds from the universal consciousness, on its own, without any egoistic intention or selfishness on their part, it is considered as not man-made, aparushaya, but divine and truthful, praman. All thoughts and knowledge exist in the universe. We do not create thoughts, although we erroneously believe so, just as we are not the real doers of our actions, as declared in the Bhagavad Gita, but mere instruments in the hands of God. We can only receive them and make meaning out of them according to the flow of our inclinations, intentions, intellect and attitudes. The most exalted spiritual truths are revealed to us in our moments of reverential silence, when our minds are focused, the senses and the self-sense are asleep and the desires are extinguished. The 6 Hindu schools of philosophy are so-called darshanas, visions, because they are products of such receptive process in which knowledge was envisioned, darshanam, in the pit of the human mind that was untainted by the impurities of worldly life. The Vedic seers did not use the word dhyana in the early Vedic theology. But through their own personal experience, they were aware of the importance of the mind and its ability to manifest things. They viewed creation as the mental manifestation of the Isvara or Brahman, the universal self, and they believed through austerities and penances man could acquire similar potency. The creation of an alternate heaven, Trishanku, by sage Viswamitra is a case in point. According to Jenny Miller, a British scholar, the Vedic prayer was a form of dhyana in which the two sense functions, vision and sound, seership and singing are intimately connected. The Vedic concept of dhyana or meditation seems to have evolved gradually with the emergence of Upanishadic thought and the idea that man personified the entire universe within himself and by himself, and that hidden deep within him was an eternal principle that was universal self in its individual aspect. Either man, Purusha, was a projection of the universe in its own mode or the universe was a projection of the individual self, Purusha, in its own form. Both views enjoyed patronage of scholarly minds. If the former was true, our existence was ephemeral and part of a much larger dream, and if the latter was true, then the universe might be an illusion. In either case the world seemed to be unreal or illusory, a view that caught the attention of Hindu scholars for centuries and found its way into the monastic, Advait, philosophy of Shankara. Miller proposed the view that in the beginning the Vedic seers held Brahman to be a meditative state, not a universal entity. She suggested that the Vedic seers practiced 3 different types of meditation and were familiar with 3 states of transcendental reality, which they identified with Brahman. In addition, they were also familiar with the 4th state, although it was not explicitly mentioned in the early Vedic hymns. They are 1. Mantric meditation or meditation on the Vedic mantras with concentration, visual meditation or meditation on a particular deity with illumined thought, 2. Absorption in mind and heart or meditation on illumined insight residing in the mind and the heart. 3. Samadhi or the experience of the ecstatic state of Brahman was the 4th state of Brahman, which is not mentioned in the Rigveda but described in the Mandukya Upanishad as the 4th state, Turiya. The early Vedic hymns may not mention the word dhyana or dharana explicitly, but we have indications in the scriptures to believe that the Rigveda seers were familiar with contemplative and meditative methods of self-inquiry. The Upanishads are not speculative works of human imagination, but revelatory scriptures envisioned by the seers as they were exploring the riddles of human existence. Similarly, the Vedic hymns, constituting the Sanhitas, were transmitted to them in deep meditative states. Apart from the seers and rishis, the Vedic texts mention many types of ascetics, including Kesins, the long-haired ones, who appear to have practiced some kind of breath control, with elements of shamanism, mantra and tantra yoga, and had the ability to display some siddhis, perfections, such as levitation. Vratyas were another group of ascetics, outside the pale of Vedic society, who seem to have been treated rather unfairly by the Vedic scholars and who practiced austerities and esoteric rituals, some of which found their way into Hinduism possibly through Saivism. Meditation and Tantra Saivism has many sects, and each has its own set of techniques and theories of yoga rooted in the theoretical and philosophical aspects of Saiva religious texts, Agama, and Tantras, some of which are left-handed, Vamachara, and some right-handed, Sadakara. The former use the mind and body, intoxicants, sexual intercourse and socially reprehensible behavior as a part of their self-cleansing process to achieve self-realization. All sects of Saivism and Shaktism worship Shiva or Shakti or both and aim to achieve union with them through various practices of which meditation or dhyana is an important component. Symbols and images of Shiva and Shakti and various mystic diagrams, yantras, used religious worship, meditation and concentration, apart from proper conduct and devotion to keep the mind pure and elevated. The yoga traditions of Saivism go by different names such as Hatha Yoga, Tantra Yoga and Kundalini Yoga. According to Kulranva Tantra, one of the well-known texts of Kola tradition composed during the medieval period, meditation is of two types: coarse, sthula, and subtle, sukshma. The former is meditation on form, usually an object, image or symbol, and the latter meditation on the formless, usually an abstract concept or state of Shiva as pure and resplendent light, bliss. In both types of meditation, the mind has to become stable or immobile, and the distinction between the subject-object should disappear to achieve the ecstatic state of self-absorption, samadhi.